And it is the hope that kills you all the time. It's the hope that kills you. It is, because at 1-0, I thought, do you know what? We can win this game. United could win this game. But it all fell to pieces very, very quickly. It's a hope that kills you. Man United 1, Man City 3. Or Man City 3, Man United 1. Whatever way you look at it, Man United were beaten today. And listen, the Rashford goal was an amazing goal. A really good goal. But let's not pretend that United weren't outplayed today. And if you're a United fan, I guess you would expect this. Man City are probably the best team at keeping the ball, at rotating the ball, at keeping possession. And today was a day of, once again, Man City dominance. I'm a United fan, but on this channel, I'm just going to say what it is. Speak the truth. Yes, I'm in my feelings right now. I'm a bit angry, I'm a bit annoyed, but City deserved that win. Foden's goal, amazing. Foden scored twice. Haaland wrapped it up with the third goal at the end. Listen, United had a low block. We could all see what United were trying to do today with the low block, tight defending, banks of 4, banks of 5. No striker today. Let's be clear. Really no striker. Bruno, McTominay, Casemiro and Mainu all playing to crowd that midfield area to stop City from creating and finding space. That's how we set up today. On the transition. At one point, I thought we could do it. We could do it. But as soon as United started to press in the second half, now let me be clear. The 2 goals that Foden scored came from a result of them counter-attacking our press or beating our press. When we sat deep today in the first half, City had no idea how to break us down. The minute we started to press, the minute they started finding space. There is a lot for us to talk about. There is a lot for us to analyse in this game. United had 1 shot on target for the whole 90 minutes. And we have to talk about that. We have to talk about how we set up. We have to talk about the manager's substitutions and how he sees football, how he wants football to be played. If anybody was surprised by the possession that City had today, then you haven't been watching Man United Football Club. There is a lot for us to talk about today on this channel. As usual, we say what we see, not how we feel. And I will say this before I go into my deep analysis. Onana had a good game today. Onana had a good game today. He had made a few pivotal saves. His goal kick, his pass to Bruno for the first goal has to be studied. It's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty, and that is what we paid money for. Onana had a good game today. There's a lot. There's a lot for us to talk about. As usual, before we get into the weeds, smash the like, turn on the notifications, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself your smoke, whatever you're doing, chill out, relax. This is the debrief. This is the chill out zone. This is the channel you go to just to get a no biased analysis conversation about the football match that you've just seen. On this channel, we say things like, we say what we see. Just say what we see, not how we feel. Yes, we have favourites, and yes, we're all going to be biased, but we try not to get into that, right? So let's talk about the game, as usual. In terms of the lineup, now, it seemed as if only Garnacho and Rashford were the only wingers starting today. And the way we set up, for me, looked like Garnacho on the right, Rashford on the left, Bruno and Scott McTominay kind of playing false 9s / number 10s together. And behind them, we had Mainu and Casemiro. So essentially, what we had was 4 midfield players covering that square, right? That midfield square. We had Rashford and Garnacho on either wings, who sometimes when we are counter-attacking, will move to be strikers. So on occasions, you'll get Garnacho up front. Sometimes you get Rashford up front, using their speed, using their power, what the manager likes, transition football to get in behind, while Bruno, Scott McTominay, Casemiro and Mainu were doing the dog work, the leg work. So that's kind of how the manager wanted to set up. The manager wanted to crowd the midfield, give Man City no room and no space. And for the first 45 minutes at least, that essentially was working. Now, I will say this time and time again, I'm not a fan of this sit-back transition football that the manager wants to play. I prefer the way that Arsenal play, Man City play, where they dominate possession. They want to put their foot on the ball, they want to pass the ball, move, create space, keep rotating the ball, not just heavy metal Liverpool style where you get the ball from back to front as quickly as possible, which means high turnovers of the ball. You're going to lose the ball often, which means you're going to be running around without the ball often. And that type of football, for me, is not the style of football that I like. The football where you have only 20% or 30% possession, you get 5 chances and you have to take those 5 chances because you know you're not going to get many. That type of football is not sustainable for a whole season and not sustainable year after year. Your players will get burnt out, like you see with Liverpool players, and injuries galore. So I will say that about the type of football that this manager wants to play. It's not my type of football, plain and simple. However, it is what it is. And like I said, we're going to talk about what we saw today. And what I saw today, especially in the first 10 minutes, was Man City straight away clamping down, putting their foot on the ball, rotating the ball, finding space, not much space, but at least dominating possession very early on, settling the match early on, like you would expect Man City to do. However, we scored within the first 8 minutes, totally against the run of play, totally against what we were seeing. It was a great goal from Rashford. Let's listen. Rashford's been having a lot of stick recently, and rightfully so, because if we ever move away from being biased, if we ever just comment on what we see, then Rashford should be criticised a lot, because based on the 90-minute performances, he's rarely ever given a 90-minute performance where he's produced a 6 or 7 out of 10. Rashford through a 90-minute football game does not offer you a lot. He doesn't. Not through 90 minutes, not consistently. He might once or twice have a purple patch where he scores goals here or there, but even in the games where he scores goals, he'll usually lose the ball a lot and not give you a full, in my opinion, 90-minute performance. So he has been getting a lot of stick, rightfully so, because I do not believe the likes of him and Bruno should be protected as much as they are. Bruno is allowed to play badly every game without fail, keep his position, keep his place. Nobody speaks about it. Those are the kind of things we will highlight on this channel because we say what we see. We say what we see. Bruno didn't have a good game. Good assist for the first goal, but overall the full 90 minutes, he wasn't good. And if you guys can tell me the last time Bruno Fernandes, the captain of this football club, had a good performance against a top 6 side, if you can tell me the last time he did that, then I'll give you £100 myself. But yet he gets away with hardly any criticism, which is really, really strange. However, going back to the goal, the way that Rashford took that goal, and I think it was a toe punt. The way I look at it over and over again, it seemed as if he just swung his foot, toe punt. Listen, on another day, that goal or that shot goes into Rose Ed or goes into the car park. Today, it went top corner, top bins. And if you want to silence somebody, that's the way to do it. So, great goal. Onana's pass for the goal as well. We must talk about Onana's pass. He has also been getting a lot of stick. And apart from the first, let's say, first 2 months of his United career where he made some mistakes, and yes, he did. He made some mistakes that cost us in the Champions League. Yes, he did. But since then, he has been arguably the best goalkeeper in the league since his initial 2 months. Yet, he's going to be tarnished with a brush based on his performance in the initial 2 months, not based on what we see now, which is a really competent goalkeeper. And I must say that We don't want to do the whole Pogba thing with this guy where when he plays well, we're like, well, he should be playing well. And when he plays badly, it's a confirmation bias. And it's like, see, Onana's rubbish. So if you criticize him when he plays badly and never praise him when he plays well, then all you're going to hear is negativity around him. A story and the rhetoric will be formed that he's not a good goalkeeper and his career could be hampered by a false rhetoric that does not give weight or is not true compared to what you actually see with your eyes when you watch this man. So I will say this about Onana. He had a good game today, and we will talk more about his saves and what he did today. But like I said, first 10, 20 minutes, all Man City. And as the match wore on, not just the first 10 or 20 minutes, in fact, the whole game was really Man City dominating possession. Foden was through on goal around 18 minutes. One of the few times where I think Man City carved United open in the first half. And Onana made a good save. You could argue Foden should have went around him, but Onana made a good save, and you can only say what you saw. Good save from Onana. United's game plan was working. 25, 30 minutes went on. United continued to sit deep. In fact, they got deeper as the half went on. Relied solely on the transition, counter-attack, but we just couldn't get any, or we couldn't even put 2, 3, 4 passes together as a football club. City kept probing, moving the ball, and as City do, they try to pull you out of position. They try to move the ball quickly. They try to create spaces for you to operate. That's how they play football, and that's how football is really played. However, with Bruno, Scott McTominay, Kobe, and obviously Casemiro in the midfield, they did not create the space that they needed today. We were very disciplined. We fell back into our shape very quickly. Our defensive line was on the penalty line, more or less, for most of the game. And they did not move the ball enough with enough speed. Doku on the left didn't do anything at all. And they were just not able to create the space that they needed. Around half an hour, I think Rodri had a half volley saved by Onana. On the 45-minute mark, Haaland had, for me, the easiest chance he could ever have. And this is the thing about Haaland. Haaland is a good striker. What I mean is he plays his position, and in his position, he's good. He's not a good footballer. He's not... Sorry, did I say Onana? I mean Haaland. Sorry, Haaland, the striker, Man City striker. He's not a good passer of the ball. He's not a good dribbler. He's not a good cross of the ball. And we need to think about his attributes and what he's good at and what he's not good at. In terms of a footballer, an all-round complete footballer, he's not very good. But Haaland is a good striker. He knows where the goal is and he knows how to finish. And that is, of course, his strength. And to see him miss essentially an open goal kind of reminds me that this Haaland guy misses a lot of chances. Just like any other striker, he misses chances. And when we have a go at our strikers missing chances, we must always remember that when you play for certain teams, you get more chances. We must also remember that. He should have scored. Either way, whatever I say, I think we can all admit that Haaland should have scored today. I mean, he did score today, but he should have scored that chance where he just kicked the ball over the crossbar. But half time after that, second half, really not much change, especially the first 10 minutes. What I observed in the first 10 minutes was the same pattern as we ended the first half. United deep, not moving, relying on a counter-attack, covering the spaces. Man City kept probing. Nothing had really changed. However, now this is important for us to understand. Foden's goal came when we decided, rather than sitting on the 18-yard box, or 16-yard box, should I say, whatever, the penalty box, we kind of decided to press. We decided to come out and start playing football. Or at least try to press. And City hit us on the counter-attack. Foden had the ball on the right. He was allowed to move onto his left foot. So he was allowed to cut in. And the goal, the finish, beautiful finish from Foden. Listen, Rashford was a toe punt and Rashford's was not controlled. Rashford's could have gone anywhere. But Foden's goal was purpose. He had purpose. He knew what he was doing. He knew what corner he was aiming for. He knew exactly what he was trying to do. Whereas I feel Rashford's goal was more of a hit and hope. Foden's a problem. Foden's a good footballer, and I know there's a lot of Arsenal fans out there trying to do a Saka versus Foden footballer analysis, trying to compare them. And I will say this, as an all-round footballer, Foden is better than Saka. End of story. If you just look at it objectively, as a footballer, maybe on the wing, Saka might be better, but as a footballer, Foden can play on the right wing, Foden can play in the left wing, Foden can play in the centre midfield or attacking midfield. Saka can't do anything. Like, he can't. That's how sometimes you look at footballers. When you want to rate a footballer, look at them playing football. Don't focus on the position that they play. Because football pitch is a huge football pitch. Some footballers are really good in their position, but take them out of their position and play them anywhere else on the football pitch, they look hopeless. That's not a footballer to me. A footballer to me is a footballer. It's not someone who plays a position. It's someone who plays football, the game of football. And Foden is a better footballer. For me, he is. So that's just me weighing in on the Saka Foden thing. But back to the analysis. Good goal from Foden. After that, nothing really changed, as I've said before. United had one shot on target, which was Rashford's shot, in the first half, and in the second half, offered basically nothing. We made changes. Say what you want about the changes, and you tell me about the changes, guys. What do you think? Evans coming off, I think he probably injured. Let's assume he was injured. For Willy Kambuala, which I don't know much about this player. I've seen him a few times. I don't know how good he is. I'm not going to make an assessment until I have seen enough of this guy to know what kind of footballer he is, what kind of fullback he is. I don't know. I haven't seen enough to make an assessment. But we made that change, and 5-6 minutes later, we made a Antony Rashford change. And for me, I would have brought off Garnacho. I would have taken off Garnacho for Antony, kept Rashford on. And let's be real. Rashford, apart from the goal he scored, did nothing in the game. He did nothing in the game. And Garnacho did absolutely, as usual, as he has been doing. And like I said, on this channel, we don't do feelings. I know a lot of people love Garnacho because of feelings, right? You feel good when he plays or whatever. I don't know why. But what I see with my eyeballs, with my eyes, is somebody who's not good enough to play first team football for Man United Football Club. If we weren't playing this crazy, stupid transition football where it's just about running as quickly as you can and getting the ball from back to front as quickly as we can. If we played mature football where you have to find your man, you have to rotate the ball, keep possession. If we play football like technical football, like way Man City and Arsenal do, Garnacho doesn't play. Amad Diallo plays. Sancho plays. Technical sounded footballers play, but not Garnacho. He did nothing today. And he does nothing in most games. He offers a sense of speed and directness when we counter-attack. But that's counter-attack. When we are playing against a team that's sitting deep, that's when you see that he's not that good. He can't unlock defenses. He's not technically sound. He doesn't have the intelligence to do what maybe Sancho might do. Scoop a ball over someone's head or play a ball through someone's legs or something cute. He's just very direct, quick. And I don't even think he's that quick. He doesn't have the speed really to get past a player. Usually when he's put through on goal, the defender catches him. So he's not even as quick as I think. And I'm not trying to bash Garnacho. So I'm going to move on. But I will say this about the kid. I do not think he is what people think he is. I think because football is a religion and it's so emotive, I just think people want him to be something that he might not become. So be prepared. Just like Rashford and all these other players that we thought were world-class and the best footballers in the world, and when we look at them objectively, we realise that they're good footballers, but they're not it. They're not him. And that's all I'm going to say about the kid. Moving on, like I said, good goal from Foden. We made the subs. In my opinion, Garnacho should have come off. But, I mean, Rashford could have come off. He didn't have a good game either. Bruno, I mean, any of our players could have come off. Apart from Varane, I think, had a good game. Evans had a decent game. Casemiro and Kobe did their thing. Dalot had a good game. And, of course, I think Onana had a really good game too. Now, Foden's second goal, you could argue now that Onana could have done better. But the reason why I won't really push that narrative too much is because, one, we deserve to lose this game anyway. He made a lot of saves, and it was a really good shot. Foden did what he's supposed to do. Hard, low, side netting, and that's where the ball went. So, yeah, it was a good goal for Man City. And once again, I will say this about the goal. It seemed to me that the goal came from, once again, us trying to push up. Us, United, trying to press, trying to hit them on the break, trying to play football. And up until then, we were just camping. We were just sitting back and every now and again trying to counter-attack. In the second half, we tried to come out of that. We tried to play football, which played into Man City's hands because Man United, as a team, we don't play good football. We do not play good football at all. We don't know how to keep the ball because all of our players are brain dead and they only think about just attacking. They don't want to, okay, cool, there's no pass on, there's no through ball on, so let's keep the ball, let's pass it back, let's rotate it. No, that's not how we play. It's forcing it. We force it, and even if the pass is not on Bruno Fernandes, we press triangle and we try to do it anyway. And that's how we play, which is, for me, like I said, not the way that I want to see football being played, really. Garnacho did eventually come off, though, with Kobe, Manu, for Amrabat and Forsen. And really, this was the beginning of the end, really, because more spaces occurred. We lost any shape that we had, and I can argue if we even had a shape. I mean, we had a shape when we were defending, when we fell back into our low block, but everybody has a shape. When everybody just puts the whole team and parks the bus, every team that does that appears to have a shape until they attack and then get counter-attacked, right? I.e., you don't have time to just get all your players back. That's when you see that some of those teams, including United, don't really have as good a shape as you think they do. They are just very good at sitting back and getting all players, which we did, every single player behind the ball for most of the game. And I think City ended up having 73% possession, something ridiculous, which, 60% is crazy. But having 70+% possession, listen, this United side is just really bad to watch. Both goals, like I said, came from United trying to do something, trying to play football. And the last goal came from Haaland, who, in my opinion, had a rubbish game. He wasn't good today, Haaland. Was not good at all. It was an Amrabat mistake. We tried to play out from the back. And for most of the game, we weren't trying to do that. For most of the game, we often played it long. But I guess we wanted to score. We were playing from behind. We needed to equalise. And maybe we thought the best way to do that is by keeping the ball. But we don't play out from the back very well. We don't know how to really beat a press. We're not well coached in that sense. Amrabat lost the ball. He hasn't really put the world alight, set the world alight since he's been at United. He was dispossessed, and Haaland, cute finish, left foot, bottom corner, once again, Onana couldn't do anything about that goal. So, outplayed, deserved to lose. We could have won though. And as a United fan, this is one of the games where the performance, even though I want to see a good performance, the performance doesn't really matter that much. I'm expecting City to monopolise possession and have most of it, not 70 plus possession. I wasn't expecting this kind of play. Once we scored the first goal and we had something to cling on, something to work towards, I thought, especially after the first half finished and City didn't even look like scoring, I thought if we continue like this, there is a possibility. We could. But it's the hope that kills you. That is my outlook on the game. That is what I saw. Let me know what you saw. Say what you see, not how you feel. Give me some feedback. Who was your man of the match? My man of the match. I probably agree. I would give it to Foden. But from a Man United perspective, I would give it to just about give it to Onana. He had a good game, but so did Varane had a decent game. I think Casemiro had a decent game, but Onana probably stood out to me. Let me know what you guys think of the game. Where are United going to finish? Are we going to finish in the top 4? Are we going to qualify for the Champions League? The manager for me today, like every day, I'm always going to give him low marks because of how he sees football is not in line with how I see football. How I want football to be played is not in line with how he wants football to be played. I thought we were going to get someone who plays total football, similar to how Man City or Arsenal play football, but instead we have a manager who keeps moving away from his fundamental principles, and I have no idea what kind of football we do. We do actually, that's a lie, because he keeps saying, I'm going to make this team the best transition team in the world. But the players that he's playing, the pace and power players, he's not even playing the players that I want to see. He's not playing a style of football that I want to see. So if he wins football matches, I'll say, cool. Do you know what? He's not winning the matches the way I want to win the matches, but at least he's winning. But when we're losing the games, I've got no love for this manager and his perception of football. So yeah, that's my verdict on the manager. I'm not the biggest fan, and yeah, that's it. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Ten Hag? I've tried to condense things as much as possible. I know time is going, guys. So thank you for watching. Let me know, as I've said before, what you guys think of the game. Who is your man in the match? Your feelings towards some players. Where we're going to finish. Your outlook, your analysis of what you saw today. I want to know what you think. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Have a good week. As usual, onwards and upwards. This is not good. And the reason why I'm annoyed is because I think we could have won this game. I really do. And that's why I'm a bit... I'm pissed off. It is what it is, man.